Okay. Okay, so we are so excited about this call, and it's so different, and I can't believe actually that we've never done a call like this. You guys, honestly, I was thinking about that tonight because it's such a huge part of our businesses is our spouses or our significant other. So I think our goal tonight is really to show you guys that every couple and every relationship is totally different. The three of our relationships are totally different, and the way that we work our businesses is totally different. But we've all been able to be successful in this, and we've all figured out how to fit it into our family. So that has been something that we've had to learn as we go. It's not something that you just master right off the bat. I mean, we've gone through ups and downs. But I just want you guys to know, and we want you to know, that this opportunity is for everybody that wants to grab a hold of it and take it and run with it. But you have to think of this business as a business. You have to use your time wisely. You have to, you can work this business as little or as much as you want to. But when you do work it, you have to work it with an executive mindset. Meaning, you have to think of this as a real business. It was $34.95. You bought the cheapest real business you're ever going to buy. But it's a real business, you guys. And that's why it's so important. Like, I want you guys to think about, if you went out and you started your own business, let's say a flower shop or a tire shop, guys, or a restaurant, okay, you would have to have a plan, okay? You would have to have your spouse's support. You would have to have a goal in mind. You'd have to have dreams. You'd have to have a schedule because it's a business. This is no different than that. It's a business. So you need to have a clear vision, and that includes your spouse. I think that in any business, I mean, luckily for myself and Tara, we've always had our own business. So we kind of understood that, okay, going into this, we have to treat it like a business. But you do. You have to use an executive mindset. So how that kind of plays into your marriage is communication. I think communication is key with each other. And that kind of leads into, you know, our story and what happened with Matt and I when we started the business. When I signed up with Morgan, Matt told me, he said, you don't think you're like working a business, do you? Because at the time we were like the busiest people we knew. We own properties, we both work, and we both have big jobs. So we didn't think we had time for the business. But when I saw the potential of the business, and I think when I shared that with him and we sat down and thought about how this could affect our lives and what we wanted to do with this business. Matt was going to kind of tell you guys a little story about when he realized for me that it was bigger than just, oh, Megan's doing something on the side.
She came home from, I think it was Super Saturday sometime last year, and she said, I need to talk to you. I was like, oh boy, what happened on this trip? And so she says, she was real excited, and she said, I know what I need to do now to get to the Emerald or Sapphire. I can't remember what one you're trying to get to. But she said, I know what I need to do now. I just need to do it, and I need your help. So I haven't really gotten involved in the business side of this at all, but I've always supported her, and I've always kind of, taken care of the kids and done what I can to give her the time to do what she needs to do. And that's been a big help. I mean, I think
huge,
like husbands, boyfriends, whatever, I encourage you to get involved with the business side if you want to, but it can be just a huge help. Just help her around the house, do whatever you can, take the kids into another room, take them to the park, do whatever you can. It's a huge help to them. Obviously, it gives them the time to work their business and do what they need to do, but it also really helps. I think just the confidence of knowing that, that your spouse supports what you're doing, it makes it easier.
Yeah, and I think it's, spouses, like I'm talking to you right now. Do you know your spouse's plan with this business? Do you know what their goal is for your family? What they're hoping to work this for? Like, why are they doing this? Why are they spending their time, responding to messages, getting out of their comfort zone? A lot of this business is not comfortable. Your spouse is doing things that are out of their comfort zone, hard for them. This isn't something like they're out just jacking around. So I just want to encourage you, do you know why your spouse is doing this? Do you guys have a plan together? I mean, what's it look like? Like, what does success look like to you and for your family? What's it going to do for time? What if you get to the point where your spouse can quit their full-time job, or you can quit your full-time job? What would that look like for you? What does it look like for you to save for retirement, or, be able to give back? Like, have a communication, have a sit-down meeting. When we went to Hawaii, they encouraged all of us to sit down with your spouse and talk about, what does success look like for you and for your family? Every relationship on this call, success is going to look different for them. And that's what's so important when it comes to Matt and I. And he says, he really hasn't worked the business. That's absolutely not true. His support is why I'm where I am right now. His standing beside me and saying when I'm down, and maybe I don't want to do a call at 9:00 at night with my team because I don't feel that great that night. But he says, you need to get on that call. Those people are waiting on you to help them and to lead them and to encourage them. Get on that call. Like, this is worth it. You're going to do this, and just his support is why I feel like I've gotten to the point I'm at, and not feeling guilty about having to get on a call at 9:00, because I know he's got it. I know he has the same vision that I have. But if I didn't share that vision with him and we didn't come up with our plan and our vision together, then maybe he wouldn't be as supportive. Maybe he wouldn't understand as much. But we decided that night when I came home, and I was trying to go Emerald. I wasn't even really trying at the time. It hit me that I wanted to do it. And when he stood behind me and said, okay, let's do it. I know you can do this. That was what I needed. And that's how I had that confidence to know that I could do this and could work this business. So I am going to turn this over. That's kind of our story. And the last thing I want to say is we both still work, you guys. He has a very demanding job. He still, is going to keep working. I'm a Sapphire ambassador. I am still doing hair, and we're balancing our family. We're balancing our properties, and we're doing it all with working Plexus into our marriage. So it can be done. So I just encourage you guys to just really, really support each other and communicate with what you are wanting to do with this business. So I'm going to turn it over to Morgan and Scott. Morgan is actually my upline and sponsor. She lives out in Arkansas, so they're quite a ways away from us. But they're amazing. I can't wait for you guys to hear from them. So take it away.
Hey, guys. Do you want me to go next, or to bump down to Tara?
Oh, sure, we can bump to Tara. That's fine. Oh, okay. Well, let me say something about Tara then.
Yes. No, let me say something about Tara.
Let's go back. So I'm going to turn this over to my other two best friends down there. And just so you guys know, Matt and Matt are best friends as well. We don't call them besties like Tara and I call each other, but they are besties.
They call each other that, though.
They really do call each other that.
Yeah, BFFs maybe.
They have that little half
I'm
necklace.
used to trying to talk. I'm like, why can't I talk? Why can't they hear me?
But anyway, so I'm going to turn it over to them. They're amazing and just a powerhouse, and we could not be more thankful to have them in our corner and as our best friends. So take it away.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm Tara. Most of y'all know me, and this is my husband, Matt Berger. And he started out the biggest skeptic, like hateful, rude, joy stealer. He hated.
Can you see me? Yes. Rude.
Yeah. He
Go to the other room. Go somewhere else.
He hated, not really necessarily Plexus in the beginning. Maybe, yeah, Plexus in the beginning.
I hated the idea. I hated the entire idea.
And I'm really bad at cutting off, so I'm going to really do my best to let him talk too, because I know this is what it's about. But first of all, watch this. He's going to give me a kiss right now.
Caught me off guard there.
Because we're happy. We're doing a Zoom call together at 9:30 p.m. for Plexus, and he doesn't hate me anymore. So I wanted to start off by doing that. And right now, he's watching football while he's on this Zoom call. So that's just another cool thing. Like, he really is doing this Zoom call, but he's still able to watch football on the side instead of having to drive into, like, a place for a meeting, you know, in a suit and tie, right? So anyway, yeah, when I first started doing it, I wasn't doing it for the business. I was doing it because I was just tired and had no energy. And quickly I saw that money could be made. And he's a police officer, and we were honestly one of those couples that was like, what, paycheck to paycheck?
Absolutely.
At the end of every month, we were kind of like, negative?
Do we have any money?
Yeah. We had a lot of credit card debt racked up, and we talked all the time about how we didn't know how we were ever going to get ahead, because with him being a police officer, you kind of tap out at a certain, you know, at a certain level, and then being a hairstylist, the same thing. So when I saw how easily you could make money with Plexus if you're passionate about it, and we had products that people really need, and then, you know, the comp plan is insane. And when I started seeing, wow, like I can really do this by really just using Facebook and talking to my friends and family, I was all in my first probably week. I went silver before my products came. I fast track gold. Our first month check, because I did fast track, was 4 figures in my first month. Now, this Mr. Skeptic over here, even though I brought in that kind of money, how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's still too good to be true. And like I said, let me reemphasize that it wasn't that I hated Plexus. It's just I hated the whole idea of multi-level marketing.
Because you didn't
what you look at as almost pyramids and everything else, and that's what that's what a lot of husbands see when they see this, and their wives pitch it to them. Oh no, it's just another one of those pyramids, and you see it all the time on Facebook where someone comes out in a post and then someone's got to support them. So I mean, I just hated the whole idea, and I did for quite a while.
Even when I went Senior Ruby, he was still. I was telling Morgan and Timmy and Megan, is he ever gonna come around? Like, this is pretty good money, but still, he felt like it was too good to be true. It was taking up a lot of time, because you do have to put time in it. If this is a business, like Megan said, this is a business. And yes, it takes time, and you need to find somewhat of a balance. But, I mean, gosh, like I was doing this from home, on the couch instead of driving into the office. I was able to reduce my hours at the salon and do it from home. So when he was being so skeptical in the beginning, it hurt. Like, it really hurt. And a lot of wives, I feel like, maybe some of you guys out there, you're like, seriously, if I hear Plexus one more time, I'm going to, throw your phone across the room. I think he said that many times. Yeah. and I get it, but we're so passionate, husbands listening. We're so passionate because we feel like now we have this purpose, and like we can help so many people, and it's fun, and the friendships, and just the big picture. And the big picture for me was honestly getting us out of debt and being able to contribute to the family. I swear to you, that's all I wanted. When I would make extra doing hair, when I would make like an extra $100, let's say, which was a big deal back then, an extra $100, or my tips, people would say, now keep that and go get something for yourself. Oh no, I would give it to Matt, so proud. I'd be like, Matt, like we got an extra $100, didn't I? I would always do that. Stupid me, I know. But I would always do that. I always gave him every little extra penny that I made. And so that's what I wanted to do with Plexus. I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to be able to take that financial burden off of him. So even when he was being mean, even when he was being a joy stealer, even when he was,
I admit it.
He was mean.
I was horrible.
But you know what? I stayed strong. I had absolute belief in the company and the products, and that I could do this, and that we could do this, and that eventually he would come around. And that's what I did. Morgan and Megan can vouch for me. I kept going. It would hurt. I'd call it Megan, call it Morgan, vent about it, and then I'd keep going. I do think that something that is important is to, really separate your family time from Plexus time, though, with anything really. So one thing that I have learned is, ladies, when you're with your family, be with your family, right? When you're at the movies, when you're at dinner, when you guys are jumping on the trampoline, put your phone away and really be present with your family. Pour into your husband. Have a conversation without the phone right there texting somebody back about probiotic. Like, be present. And then when your husband and your children feel full, like they've got quality time with you, then they're not going to mind so much when you're like, okay, mommy, or I need to go in the other room, give me an hour. I need to really do my power hour right now. They're going to be more apt to let you do that and not resent that because you just filled their cup. Does that make sense? So I have found that has helped a lot with our relationship, is being present when I need to be.
We've had to work it out too, though.
Yes.
There's been a lot of ups and downs, arguments.
And there's been many times Matt are, when we're somewhere and they're like, put you guys' phones away. But I think that comes in also understanding that it's not just us texting, whoever it is, because we're, talking about a show on TV.
Right.
So it's addictive for us because we want to be able to help everybody. But having our husbands step in and be like, hey, put the phone away. That's needed sometimes.
It's really helped me a lot. And like Megan said, I'll tell Matt that all the time. We're not talking about the weather. Do you think I'm talking about The Bachelorette? No, I'm talking about probiotic and, how to help this person get silver. But there is a time and place. And I think that when you are focusing on your Plexus business, focus on it. Go in 100%. But when you're with your family, be present and be with your family. So I think there's that fine line. But do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think you pretty much
summed
it up.
Like you're all in.
I'm all in. It took me a long time, and everyone's got to find common ground. But I'm all in now. And
we came up with goals and a dream, like Megan was talking about. We know what we want out of this business, and we're working together. We're on the same page. That's the main thing. We're on the same page now, and he gets it, and he knows I'm doing this for us, not for me. And I think that's huge.
Now we still have some ups and downs on, when to put the phone away and everything else.
It's hard.
But we work on it and we get through it.
Right. So I think that's really all I have to say, unless people have questions later. But now we'll turn it over to Morgan and Scott, and I'm really excited to hear what they have to say.
Cool. You want to go ahead? No.
No.
I'm just kidding. Hey, guys. I love this. I love looking at all these little squares on my screen. And Jennifer Evans, I'm going to take your baby. I need the baby. Where did the baby go? So sweet. Like, how cool, though, that here we all are. I mean, you got the baby. Matt Berger's watching football. Nikki Banner's husband. I don't know what you're drinking. You're drinking something. We'll just say it's water. No. No, but it's really cool. I mean, we hustled to get our kids in bed, and we only had to threaten them once or twice, so that was a success. And, I think for us, the way we work this business looks a little bit different. The way we work this business together, I should say, looks a little bit different than how the Moores do and how the Bergers do and how the Mayos do or anyone. It looks completely different. And that is what I want y'all to take away from this more than anything tonight is, this person right here is your person, okay? And the relationship aspect of this is more important than anything. But you have to be able to communicate effectively amongst each other, whatever that looks like for you. So for Scott and I, because we both come from a business background, he supports me, like what our picture looks like right now. I'll just kind of go ahead and tell you. So I think it was really like once I got to Emerald, because Scott is very intuitive, and probably because he just noticed, it was a lot, I'm not going to lie. It was a lot when I work a very full-time job and we have 3 small kids and just life, y'all. It's probably no more than a lot of you, but I think that was probably the point where he was like, I'm going to step in and apply my skill set that I have in a business type way to help her, and I think some of that just went kind of unsaid, but about that time was when Scott really stepped in, and the way that he supports me is really, obviously emotionally, because, we talk about this kind of stuff all together. He kind of coaches me through the ups and downs, but really from like a very like logistical standpoint. So he utilizes his logical, strategic mind to help me. And so, you know, his bandwidth during the day, his time availability is different than mine in that, you know, he has a private office and he's the boss at his job. So if he needs to like pull up some of my spreadsheets and create reports for me and look at this and track certain things, he'll just kind of debrief me at the end of the day. Like, I pulled this up, this is this, let's focus on this team, let's look at this person's at this PB. And I mean, and he does that, a lot of that legwork for me, because he understands that I don't have the time, I don't have the availability to do that during the day. I am not my own boss at Verizon. And so, you know, I can't really have like all those reports and things like that pulled up on my computer screen all day if I want to keep that job. So so he helps me really from that way, bouncing ideas off me. He manages people at his job. So we come together, I think, from a business standpoint, and he utilizes his skill set, and I get to more focus on my skill set, which is more of the relationship side of this business, which is what I'm far more drawn to. And it really helps. It's huge. There are many times that Scott will just go ahead. I mean, he'll be messaging people for me, and there's very few times that I don't either know before, and I definitely know after, that he's reached out to somebody and messaged them something that he knows I needed to, you know, because he knows he can do it during the day. And that's one way he's going to help me. Like, just really kind of presenting a very, very unified front, you know, to everyone, to our team, to the people around us. This week we've met with 2 different couples that we really wanted to connect with. We want to connect with every single one of you, but there were 2 specifically that were on our list this week. And that was one of the main things we talked about to them, is you will see a real turning point in your business when you have a unified front to your audience with your spouse. Because it's not that you as the main business owner are not influential. It's not that you're not effective at all. It's just that when you with your significant other band together and go, you know what, this is where our belief lies. This is what we do. There are things that our friends and family know about us. They know we love our family. They know we love Jesus. They know where we're going to be on Sundays. They know we love Plexus. This is what people know about us. And so we just really took that on. We want people to trust us and to want to go on this journey with us, because it's doable and because it actually can be really beneficial to your marriage as well. And I'll tell you, like, Scott and I are not, I mean, we get along great, but we could not be more opposite in personality. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but this may be the first time his face has changed the whole call. So, and that might be the last. I mean, I'm probably going to have 15 face expressions just for my little small talk. So he is very, like, you know, reserved, very straightforward, very logical, very analytical, very black and white. I mean, in personality, we are extremely different. Now, we do align on our, you know, morals and values and things we want out of life, but we are very, very different. We are not 2 people who would ever be like, oh, let's get a job at the same place so we can carpool together and let's go to lunch together every day. Let's do everything together. I mean, y'all knew we are not those people, okay? And I could never work for Scott as his company, and he probably would never want to employ me, okay? This is just what it is. But this has been really awesome for us to have this actually in our marriage. Like, you know, in so many ways, we kind of have shareholder meetings. Like, what do we both want out of this? And I don't know, honestly, I don't know that we talk about it as much as we just do it. You know, I mean, some people talk about a lot of stuff. Scott and I don't know. I mean, we very well communicate. I don't know that we talk about a lot of stuff as much as we just kind of do it, you know, because we just get it. We just get each other. And so, like, I feel like when you both really can see how huge the opportunity is, how life-changing, how freeing this is, and it's something that you can do together, whatever that looks like together, what that word together looks like for you. When you can start doing this together, it is very relationship building, y'all. There is a sense of achievement for both of you. I mean, there is not a single chance in the world I would have been able to reach the rank that I have in this company without Scott's support. It's such a downer when the person that you love most does not believe in you and support you. Like, it's really, I just couldn't have done it. I mean, the wind would have been out of my sails, and I just wouldn't have done it. And so I'm so appreciative of him for that, and that we can do this together. And another thing is that I love that our kids see us doing this together. I love that they know that this is something we believe in. We're doing it for our family. We're doing it for others. They see us having unshakable belief in something. I mean, we have to set boundaries with them too. Just tonight, my youngest one, who, he tries this every night, but it's like, will you lay with me? And, I'm like, buddy, no, not tonight, honey. Mom and dad are going to work tonight. It's past your bedtime. It's time for you to get in bed. And I think it's really good to set that kind of structure with your children, that they know during the day they were very important, and we spent all kinds of family time today, but now it's your bedtime, and now mom and dad work. So you can get to enjoy a lot of things that you want to do. I mean, we're very specific. We're like, hey, remember when we went to the beach? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's because mom and dad got on some calls and worked. I mean, they're 3 and 4, so they get that. But I just think it's so, I don't know. I think it's been really, really helpful to our marriage. I think it's helped us as parents, be a good example for our children, what it means to pour yourself into something that's awesome, that you can really stand by. So a company that's so legitimate and full of integrity. I think that just is a great example to our children as well. And so for us, that's just kind of what it looks like. We treat this very much like Megan, like you said. I love that point, is that, if he and I decided that we wanted to start up a pizza joint or a tire place, I mean, we would have to have a lot of debriefings. It would be like, hey, here's the deal. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to be late at the shop. And so the kids are going to be on you, or this is what it's going to look like. This is absolutely no different than that. So if you are strategic with your time management, and I'm not the best at that, but I know that to be true. If you are strategic with your time management and you look at this just like that business, you will be so successful. Your marriage will be much more successful. All your other relationships will be much more successful. And so take yourself very seriously, and other people will take you seriously too. And so, Scott, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, one thing on her point and Megan's point as well, if you opened your own business, aside from Plexus, I think we need to realize sometimes as spouses that opening a business is a lot of work and a lot of time. And if you were to open a pizza joint, you were opening a Pizza King, you're going to be there all the time. This is no different. So you have to put that time in. You have to put the energy into this. And luckily with this business, you can do it from home. And that's what's great about this, because they can still do it from the comfort of their home. They're still with you, but it still takes the work. It still takes the effort, and it still takes the time. Fortunately, it's a lot less time than if you were to open a franchise or or whatever else. So one thing on that, just to go into my side of it, when Morgan first started doing this, I was a huge skeptic of the products first, because one, I didn't want to spend the money on them, and two, I just thought it was a fad. I didn't think it was going to work. Like probably every husband or spouse that's on the call, they probably thought the same thing at first. So that was where we first started. And then once she decided to become an ambassador, again, skeptical of the business side of it. We have good jobs. We didn't need an extra business necessarily. We didn't think we did. God had different plans for us. I mean, we have grown tremendously with the addition of this business in our marriage, in every aspect. So it's been a huge blessing, even though at first it was a lot of work. So my role has changed since when she first started this business, being skeptical, to after a couple of months looking at it and going, this is legitimate. Let's look at this like a business and not just a hobby. We looked at the business plan and started strategically planning out how we can get you to Emerald, Sapphire, and eventually, hopefully, to Diamond. So, I mean, we have plans in place. It's no different than any other business. Write a plan down, write a business structure, and do those things every day. If you're not doing those things, again, go back to opening a franchise. If you weren't advertising for your Pizza King, and I say Pizza King because I love Pizza King.
We're so sad we don't have it.
And we hate that we don't have it. So, but if you were doing that and you weren't advertising, you're not going to sell pizzas. If you're not promoting it, if you're not there working, this is no different. You have to do that portion of it. So what that looked like at first for us was me watching the kids, me just being supportive. And there's been times, obviously, that I haven't been supportive. I've like Matt and Matt, I've been frustrated because she's on her phone too much. So,
but you were never mean.
Never mean. I wasn't Matt Berger.
Wow. And I was getting ready to compliment you on your hair too.
No, I was never mean, but I was frustrated at times.
Real quick, I do want to point out something that you had talked about, like opening up your own business. That's one thing, we had never, I don't know how to open up my own business. So for her, when she first started out, it was nonstop, it was nonstop busy. And I was like, so first I'm a skeptic. And then second, I'm like, well, I don't have my wife anymore. She's gone. She's doing all this stuff.
He actually missed me.
So I actually started missing her, which is crazy. No, I'm just kidding. But so I don't know. That's what I'd say to some of the new people. If there's new people on here, if their husbands are watching, that is like, well, yeah, this business is making money, but I'm losing my wife.
Feel out of balance.
It gets better, and sometimes you just got to sit down and have a conversation and say, look, I'm starting to believe in this, but you're working way too much. We got to have some boundaries. Let's set some boundaries. So I like what you said about that.
Hey, what's that quote, Morgan? It's like if you work for a short period of time like others aren't willing to do, then you're going to be able to live like others can't. You know what I'm saying? Like work now. Put in that work now. Work hard.
If you do now what others won't do, you'll be able to do what others can't in the future. Or something like that.
Right. So like what he's saying is you're going to be a little bit out of balance in the beginning, as you would with opening any job. And I mean, that's just, you've got to put the time and the effort into it, but it will pay off.
And we have just never experienced anything like that. So it went from her going to cut hair, for 3 or 4 hours, at the most,
and Matt
6 hours
for
2 days a week or 3 days a week. And then we go to, her on her phone nonstop. I don't see her, hey, can we see a movie tonight? No, I got to do this. I got to do that. It's like, oh my gosh, come on. So,
but now it's a lot better because I put the time in the beginning, and now I've been able to, it's balanced out. So,
I'm just not thinking about it from a standpoint of that this is just some little thing that she's doing on the side. Like, this is a real business. Like, this has the potential. I mean, the income that you can make from Plexus is a heck of a lot more than a lot of our friends who own their own businesses that struggle to make any type of, net income at the end of the year. It is very hard. My parents own their own business my whole life. It is very hard to have your own business and to build a business. They have set this up where you can make a huge income from this. So realize that this isn't just some little thing that someone's doing on the side. It's a big opportunity, and treat it like that. Treat it like it is a business.
And that was actually, Megan, good. That's a good point. That's exactly what I was about to say is that Pizza King that you opened is not making money the first year.
No.
In fact, most businesses that you open yourself take 3 to 5 years to make a profit.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind that you spent $34.95, and literally in most cases, people are making money. In a lot of cases, people are making money their first month, but in most cases, people are making money their second month, third month. And again, a lot less work, a lot less time than opening that Pizza King. So even though that is a successful franchise that has a business plan, it still takes a lot of time to turn that profit because you invested millions of dollars to open that franchise, to open that store, and then you're sending them a portion of your money. And then, so just keep that in mind. And then going back to what Matt said, they've never opened a business before. So exactly my point of set a plan, set it like a business and make a business plan and say, these are the hours I'm going to work. This is what I'm going to do today. And when I've successfully done that, I'm going to then stop working for the day. The more investment you put in it from the start, obviously, the faster you're going to grow. So you don't want to just, well, I'm going to make one cold message today and then I'll do another one next week. That's not what I'm saying, but you do want to set forth a plan to make yourself successful and then discuss it between each other as spouses. So the expectation is there and you guys know what each other's goals are and plan is. So anyways, what's that, Tara?
And then you can hold each other accountable.
Right. So that goes to what my kind of role in helping Morgan and doing this business together turned into next was I actually work the business and I build my own team and help her with her team, and we do it together. And it's turned into a huge actually benefit to our relationship. I mean, we discuss things, we converse about these different scenarios and what we can do and how we can help this person. And it's fun because we get to see results of us helping our friends. And it's fun to do together. We have a great quality time when we go on leaders retreat or convention or to Hawaii. I mean, these things have truly blessed our marriage that we would have never had the opportunity to do without it. So
we would have never vacationed that much.
No, I mean, never. We were taking one vacation maybe a year, and now we're able to do more. So even if you're making that, your goal and you're making a good amount of money, set forth that goal and that what are you working towards? Why you're making that money, so put it towards something. Put it towards something fun, to go out to eat once a week so you guys can build that relationship together. Now, that being said, as I work the business and as Morgan and I discuss things, there's definitely been times that I've said, let's do it this way, or let's do this, and it's not portrayed the right way, and maybe
it's not received well.
Maybe my facial expression, maybe it's, who knows, but I'm the boss at my work, so I tell people what to do, and I lead people, and I feel very comfortable doing that. But if it isn't received well on her end, it does nothing to help our business. So something I just would tell you guys and spouses out there is your relationship is first. So understand that and build upon that and treat this business no different. Just because you're the man and you make the decisions about the money or whatever the case may be in your situation, just remember that this is her business. She started it. You're here to support, and you can do it together. Just take that approach with when you're discussing the business. Because I've definitely made the mistake of not doing that, and it's not helped us in our relationship nor the business on those aspects. And we've really learned and grown from that. So I would just keep that in mind when you're whatever your scenario is. You want to just be the supportive husband that watches the kids, or you want to be the guy that works the business and has Zoom calls and has, accountability groups or whatever else. Just keep that in mind. And one thing I want to close on is, we just went to Maui or Kona, and I will guarantee you there's not one spouse there that is not supportive of their significant other in this business. So obviously that might seem easier to do when you're going to Kona, but they didn't get there by not supporting their spouse. having the support of your spouse is huge in this business. And if you can't have that, obviously there's a bunch of single people that have gotten that successful and they didn't have that to worry about, but we have a different dynamic with spouses. And we need to just recognize that and support them, because the dream is there, the goals are there, and it can be done. Support them in that, set your goals together, and support each other through this whole thing, because it can definitely happen. And when you're going through this process, just learn to, the main thing is learn to support each other and learn to communicate about it. Set a business plan, set forth a goal, and discuss it. Don't make this a one-sided, this is mine, it's not yours. Work it together. And that means multiple ways. It doesn't mean both of you work in the business, cold messaging people. It means work it together, discuss it, talk about it. So that's all I really got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to give y'all an example, because I felt, hopefully this is like a safe zone, right? Other than like this is being recorded and probably simulcasted, but no big deal. But like, we've definitely had some moments where, his skill set does not transfer well in our form of communication. Like he was saying at work, I'm the boss. Well, I don't need a boss. I want a husband and a person who's supporting me. And although his intentions have always been really great, I will tell you, one of the best things that we've learned out of this, like, are really through the times that we've like argued, because we're just people that like, we never argue without ever like talking about it again. We don't just try to just forget it and move on. That doesn't work. FYI, if you do that, that does not work. But like, I'm not kidding. And I told Megan this the other day on our call with Megan Moore. Y'all, he got so up in my business the other day, and I got so irritated. I'm in the bathtub. He corners me in the bathtub. I'm like, it's like naked and afraid. I couldn't even get a washcloth. I was like vulnerable, naked in the bathtub, and he's trying to hold me accountable for some stuff. And I was like, this fool's dead lost his mind. I've just worked all day. I've dealt with the kids. Now he wants to talk about this plan and this accountability group and this and da-da-da-da-da, and you got to do this and you got to do this. And I was like, y'all, when I say it was not received well, it was not received well, I'm like, first off, let me stand up here and get a towel so I can have a real conversation with you, because this is not going well. But like, after that, I was able to kind of refocus and go, you know what? I'm so blessed, and it's incredible that I have such a smart, intelligent husband who cares about me and cares about this, because it's not something like, he cares about this so much because I loved it first, and so out of that very ugly moment, I think there was some beauty in the growth of our relationship to go, you know what, let's refocus. And I think he was also able to go, that probably wasn't the best timing for me to kind of try to step in and go, let's get a plan together, when I'm like, I'm going to bed. That's my plan. Like, my plan right now is my pillow. So I am maxed out today. And so Scott and I even talked about this before the call, that I think that especially with men, you may see, probably if your wife is in this and she's got a plan and she's got a vision for this, she's probably independent and goal-focused and self-driven. And so she's already that type of person. So she doesn't necessarily need someone to come in and be, the ruler and the dictator. I think what we as women, and I'll just kind of speak for all of us, I think what can be so beautiful and be so awesome in this setting is that it just really gives us an opportunity to see each other in a different way than we never would have otherwise, without having this like business opportunity. And so even if things have looked a little ugly or rocky for you in the past up until this point in your business, I promise you, God will give you an opportunity to reconnect and talk about it in a different way, and he can make it better. Y'all can make it better going forward. So don't get discouraged if you're having a rough patch or in a situation where like you're not aligning, you're feeling tension because you want something that he may not be on board with. It can get so much better, okay? But like we talked about before, boundaries and being clear about what you both want, all super critical. So y'all, like, we care about y'all's relationship more than anything else. Plexus is super, super important, but the relationships here displayed on the screen are so much more important. But we can have a perfect storm here where your relationship can align with your business goal, and it can be incredible for you. So we want to help you do that, of course. And thanks for the opportunity to jump on here with you all tonight, because I love seeing all your faces and just chilled out in your living rooms and just being yourself. And that's what this business is about. So, and in the airport, Dale, and
Yeah.
I love that y'all are on there. So Megan, I don't know if you have anything you want to close with, but that's all we got here from the Adams family.
We should sing the song. No, I'm kidding. I do. I just have one last thing and then we'll close up. But I think one of the biggest things is when you look at your partner, do you believe in them? Like, do you believe that they can do something that they really believe that they could do and want to do? You're their person, you know? So if you believe in them and you support them, that alone can be so huge. A lot of times in a business like this, you just need somebody to pat you on the back and say, you can do this. Like, you can do this. I believe in you. Having just your person believe in you can be so powerful. And so I think that's the biggest thing, that, you know, even if you're a guy and you're on this call, or, you know, your spouse is working the business and you're going, I do not want to work this business, I don't have the time for it, or whatever, you can still believe in them. You can still be their biggest cheerleader, their biggest support system, because if you believe in them, they're going to believe in themselves, and they're going to be able to get to that goal that you guys come up with together, and that dream and whatever it is that you guys have set in place. So I just think encouragement can go a long way. So even if that's the only thing you do is encourage them, pat them on the back when they're having a bad day, and tell them they can do it and that you believe in them, that's enough. So
More than enough. Yeah.
More than enough. So anyway, we're just, like Morgan said, just so thankful for every single one of you on this call, and so thankful to have some powerhouse couples. You know, that is huge. Powerhouse couples. Another thing Morgan said, you know, in Hawaii, those spouses support each other, but there's some powerhouse couples in Hawaii. And I know that a lot of you on this call, if you band together, will get there 100%. So, Tara and Matt, you have anything you want to throw in before we go?
No, just amen to everything that was said.
Awesome. Okay, we want to take a screenshot. Amber Brown said we got to make sure we do that. So let me do that real quick. Hold on.
Everybody put your arm around your spouse if you're there.
Scott,
Yeah, act like you're
okay.
Here, get up here. Okay, ready? Ready? Who do we have all like down there? Turn your screens on,
I
people.
got blink. Hold on.
That's your cousin, Rachel.
Yeah, I see my cousin Rachel, Donna.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! Okay, awesome. Well, we will talk to everybody soon. Anybody else need to say anything? Or am I turn it off?
Y'all have a great week.
Bye, guys.
See y'all later.
Jennifer,
Bye. Thanks, guys.